You're welcome to my YouTube channel once again, where research methodology is made very easy. As you can see it on the screen, research methodology made easy. In this very video, I'm going to teach you how to determine your research hypothesis by using a mathematical formula, by scientifically arriving at the number of research objectives. There's no more use of the term where you just decide, oh, you just decide whatever your research methodology, your research hypothesis would be. No, your research hypothesis is determined by the architecture of your operational framework. Operational framework. So that you have to know today. Just sit back and you will understand that this very determination, that is determining your research hypothesis, is easy. It's easy, very simple. I am Dr. Abel Simeon. I am the Managing Director of Amon Consulting Limited. I am also a doctoral research fellow at the Corporate Institute of Strategic Research. I am also the Director of Strategic Planning and Research at the Institute of Professional Industrialist and Management Development. In this business of empirical research work, I have over 29 years, so I can take you through the length and breadth of research methodology. Days are gone when people think that, or students or researchers think that research work is so cumbersome. No, it is not. I'm going to give you blow to blow, bit by bit, making it very easy for you to understand and this research work, and you are going to enjoy it. All right, let's go to our computer straight away and see what we have here. This is for the hypothesis determination. So determination of a research hypothesis through a mathematical formula is what we are considering in this very video. It's a very short one. But before then, you need to understand that you cannot know what the number of hypotheses will be in a work if you do not understand your conceptual framework that will transmute it into operational framework. In my previous video, I told you about conceptual framework, and I gave an extensive explanation what conceptual framework is. This is more or less a sister design to conceptual framework. It is called operational framework structure. So you need to understand it. Well, for your own information, this is how the conceptual framework looks like. For the example I'm going to give to you, now I have my predictor variable. I have which is profit sharing, and then under it are my dimensions. Don't forget that dimensions are the indicators of the independent variable. And then soon after that, on the right-hand side, I have my criterion variable, which is the dependent variable. And in this case, is worker efficiency. Under it are the selected measures. The measures are the indicators of the independent variable. Then soon after that, at the middle, in between, is the moderating variable. As I told you in my previous video, that moderating variables are those variables that tend to bring the relationship, support the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. That's why I fixed it in between the dependent variable. So in this case here, I have workers need, company need, and company policy. These are chosen moderating variables. And then on the far right, we have the suppressor variable. This suppressor variable tend to work against the relationship, the smooth relationship of the dependent and the independent variable. So this is how the operational framework looks like. So then how do we start with the operational framework? First, you look at the understanding of the research problem. You look at the topic and understand the topic very well. And from the topic, you will see the dependent variable and independent variable. You see it clearly. In this example now, profit sharing and work efficiency in the oil and gas sector in River State, Nigeria. Clearly, profit sharing is the independent variable and work efficiency is the dependent variable, the criterion variable. So next after that, please, I want to let you know that the dependent and independent variable are what I refer to as the intrinsic variable because they are already seen from the face value, from the periphery of the topic you say there, and then quickly you look for the indicators of the independent and dependent variable. The indicators, as I told you in my previous video, that the indicators of the independent variable are called the dimensions, while the indicators of the dependent variable are called the measures. You have to ascertain that. Look out for the next thing you do is to look out for any variable that could support the independent and dependent variable. So that is called the moderating variable. Then you look for anyone that could be a disservice to the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. In other words, that will not support, that tend to frustrate the smooth relationship, the positive relationship between the dependent and independent variable. Such variable is called the suppressor variable. Look for it. And then you put it by the right-hand side, as I showed you how conceptual framework looks like. And in every work that you have a moderating variable, there should be a suppressor variable. The reason is just simple. It's just simple. You can't have do's and you don't have don'ts. You can't have advantages, you don't have disadvantages. If you are advising, you are giving a recommendation to an organization or to an institution, to anything, to a person, to a client. If you tell the client not to do this, you are telling him also what to do. So the do's are the moderating variables. The don'ts are the suppressor variable. These are things you shouldn't do because they tend to disassociate. They tend to separate the relationship between the dependent and independent variable. So having done that, let's go to the next slide, telling you how you can carry out a mathematical formula or apply the mathematical formula for determination of research hypothesis. Now, this is how the operational framework looks like. The previous one I showed you was a conceptual framework. In the operational framework, you have the relationship clearly spelled out through arrows. Arrows tend to tell you the impact that is done between or among variables. You can see it here that our current distribution price is related to the measures, each of these measures, the cost efficiency, the resource optimization, the time optimization, they are related. Each of them are related. This is an operational framework. The operational framework defines what your hypothesis will be. And so the mathematical formula is first you bring in the predictor variable dimensions. In this case, it is 4. This 4 will be multiplied by the measures, the number of measures, 4 times 3. In the case of determination of the research objectives, you say 4 times 1. 4 times 1. That one is referring to just the dependent variable, not the measures. But in the case of the determination of research hypothesis, you just have to multiply the measures by the dimensions. That is the measures of the independent variable by the measures of the dependent variable. Next, you take whatever result that comes out of that multiplication, you now add it to what will the number of moderating variables. In this case, is 3. So if you say 12 plus 3, that will give us 15. Now you add that to the number of moderating variables that will come out from the the suppressor variable. Suppressor variable here are 2. So 3 plus 12 plus 2 is 17. So it then means that your number of hypotheses is 17. This is the total number of research hypotheses. But don't say, oh, it is too much. It is too much because your dimensions and your measures and your moderating variables and your suppressor variables are too much. So if you want to reduce the research hypothesis, just reduce the number of dimensions. If I have 2 dimensions now, and I have 2 measures I'm saying the indicators of the dependent variable, and I have only 1 moderating variable and only 1 suppressor variable, that will give me 2 times 2, 4, plus 1, 5, plus 1, 6. So that will give me 6 hypotheses. It's as simple as that. But if I now want to have, I want to have 3 hypotheses. 3 hypotheses is my study. That simply means that I have to get 1 dimension plus 1 measure plus 1 moderating variable, and then 1 suppressive variable. So 1 times 1 is 1, plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. That is 1 dimension times 1 measure is 1, plus 1 moderating variable is 2, plus 1 suppressor variable is 3. So that is my total number of research hypotheses. If I want my research hypothesis to be 3. But if I want it to be 6, so all I need to do is to multiply this. I need to get 2 moderating, 2 dimensions, 2 measures, 1 moderating variable, and 1 suppressor variable. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1, 5, plus 1, 6. Just the formula is simply, you multiply the dimensions by the measures, add the moderating variable if there is, and then you add the suppressor variable if there is not multiplication this time. You only multiply the dimensions by the measures. The moderating variable and the intervening variable or suppressor variable are added to it. So it is a function of what the number of dimensions and the number of measures and the number of moderating variable and suppressor variables that determines the total number of hypotheses. So this is how you determine your research hypothesis. I want to thank you for listening, and I have other videos that are very related to this. My next video, I'm coming up with how to determine the number of research questions, research objectives, research hypothesis. So that's the next one I'm going to do. So for you to be intimated on that one, to be informed, you need to press the like button, share, subscribe, and then you'll be notified. Thank you so very much. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact me. If you have any question, please, I'm always willing to attend to your question. But send your questions to my WhatsApp line, +1 505 2324 6646. I repeat, +1 505 232 46646. You can see it on the screen. That is my WhatsApp line. Any question at all on research methodology, I'm going to assist you. Thank you so very much. See you in the next video.